Now we're going to look at the labor and market implications of that result from having a child, and specifically having a child and having to pay child care for that child. And so if we look through here and let's go this way. So let's say that you have the worker, the parent, has some sort of non-labor income. Some income that they get regardless of if they work or not. And we'll say that that is equal to B. Now, if they decide to go to work, they will need to put their child into some sort of a daycare or child care program. And let's say that that child care cost is equal to this difference here, BC. So if they don't work at all, they'll have B dollars. If they decide to work even an hour, they're going to have to pay that amount BC. So what happens is that a individual's labor supply curve with child care costs becomes B, C, D. So what does that mean then? Well, that means that with that, if you look at the utility, the preferences of the worker, that worker is going to choose this U1 here, be at point X, and choose some L hours of labor and have some I hours of income. Well, now let's say child care becomes fully subsidized. So that amount BC, if the government steps in and says, you know what, we're going to pay that for you. Okay, we'll reimburse you for it. So the parents pay it and they get it back. So they have to pay BC, but they're going to get it back BC. And so what happens in that case then is that the budget constraint, because they will have to pay BC, but they're going to get it right back, the budget constraint is just going to be EB. Well, now they can adjust. Now they're going to have more income. So we have, again, a pure income effect here. And so they're going to go up until you have that tangent point, which is right here. And so you're going to have L prime and I prime. Well, they're getting more income, but they're working less hours. And so when this happens, they may come in and work, and or work less rather, because of that income effect. Now, on the other side of that, it could be the case where they originally were not working, but now they may enter the labor force because of that subsidy. So when you remove the cost of childcare, it may actually encourage more. It may encourage more women to enter the workforce. So that's just another way to look for it. And so if we look at another example here, in the, let me get rid of this here. If we look back at this original example here, well, again, so in the first case, the budget constraint was B, C, D. In this case, sure, they would work at X if they were working, but because that B is there, because they have that non-labor income, they're going to choose this point here. And so their labor is going to equal 0. But if that becomes fully subsidized, now they are encouraged to actually enter the workforce, and then we'll get to this point, Y here. But what happens if they are already working? Well, if they're already working, that's where we're going to see this effect here, where you have that pure income effect in general. And so they're going to go from X prime to Y prime. So they're going to spend less time working. But in both, so there's two possible cases when it comes to childcare. Either they're not working, well, I guess there's three cases. They're not working and they continue to not work because of this, or they're not working and because of the subsidy they decide to enter the labor force, or if they're already working, this will create a pure income effect and cause them to work less. So for all these reasons, it's any kind of child subsidy could have different results depending on where the workers are, how much child care is, how much the subsidy is for, so forth. But again, this will show you just kind of how subsidies play into the labor supply.